Hello, welcome to Mystic Moon's Far Out Tarot, Far Out Psychic Tarot. And we all have to admit we're living in strange times. And you can say, oh, it's always been strange, but We've heard a lot of things through the decades, I'm sure. But however, how many times did you just think about something and wonder if it was actually true or not? I mean, have sci-fi gone beyond entertainment and maybe it's just like a poster, a flyer of what's really happening? You have to think about that. If you watch a lot of the old sci-fi, and you can see how many things are actually, TV, sitcoms, movies, B movies, C movies, D movies, A movies. A lot of it is quite true. Quite true. Lately, we've been hearing something, and we're going to do a reading on it today. So I want everyone to cleanse yourself. First of all, let's just call the good spirits. Now, that should do it. Put us in the mood to investigate psychically. Is this true or not? Are they, scientists, madmen, crazies, lunatics, whatever you want to call them, researchers, are they making us, bodyoids? Now, we've heard about different other parts of the body, the brain, brainoids, things like that being stuck into computers for efficiency. Well, we're not going to touch that subject right now, but right now we're talking about bodyoids. Now, you can say, what are bodyoids? Never heard of it. Well, a little education. Bodyoids are humans, you and I, grown in an artificial womb, uterus, in a lab. And they're doing it. Are they doing it? They've been doing cloning for ages. We all know that. Since the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, whatever. But we do know it. But now they're introducing it through academia in terms of like at MIT and Stanford. And everybody's heard of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and Stanford, two very up there universities with quite worldwide reputations and standings. Now, a couple of scientists, which will just like, you can look it up yourself, have put a paper out saying, hey, we got the answer for spare parts. Need a new heart? We'll grow one. Not just grow a heart or take it from a pig, a cow, or a sheep. No, we'll grow the whole human. Therefore, you can get a really, 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 really good heart, lungs, kidneys, liver, whatever. Now, that does sound tempting to some if you can afford it. I'm supposed to be growing these bodyoids, humans, artificially produced in a lab without missing a few things. And you could say, what are they missing? Well, they're supposed to be missing a certain type of pain receptors. So it's not cruel to cut them up and kill them or stop their life energy, however you want to say, because they don't feel any pain. And I guess they do modify their brain too. They keep their brains low. Now, how do they do that? Well, that's something you'd have to read that paper, or you could imagine maybe they just feed it bad food, GMOs, who knows? Or maybe they just put some sort of virus inside of the creature to inhibit brain creature, the human, the bodyoid, to how do you say, to inhibit the growth. Now, if they're giving a paper is telling you probably step 1, 2, and 3, except for the copyrighted patent details, patenting human life, well, let's just see if this is actually something they just want to announce. And they also, so it's like maybe they just can't find, they say they can't find enough hearts and livers for all the people that need body replacements, organ replacements. Now, So let's just do a read on this. Now, this is not far out because it's already in academia. And once something is in academia, it's been played around a bit. It's not exactly like Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. Now, these bodyoids, let's say, are they making bodyoids? First of all, I want to welcome everyone to take this journey with me, with Mystic Moons, and try to find out if this is exactly something that we should pay attention to, or forget the ethics of it, or is this. Now, we already know that certain states are taking corpses once we pass on our cadavers and chopping it up and using it as fertilizer for plant food. And we know that. They are using that, I think, the state of Oregon and Washington. And that could also be, causing dementia and other, world countrywide episodes of this mental condition. But that's another thing altogether, too. So we know they're using humans as, our waste products, our excretion, our poop as fertilizer. So they're not only using our bodies, composting our bodies as fertilizer, they're using our poop as fertilizer, too. They do that all over. But this is different. This, dear ones, dear listeners, subscribers, thank you for joining. And those who haven't subscribed, thank you very much. Now, this is something we should pay attention to because this is something more than weird. This is something that we should be like, whoa, Nelly, whoa. Where are we going with this? Okay, we have robots, 6 foot robots. We have artificial dogs, artificial robotic dogs, robotic horses, everything. Now we're going to have humans not only being raised in labs for spare parts, but it's also been mentioning that the humans can be food, meat. Isn't that cute? Isn't that cute? So what kind of dystopic weirdo world are we headed towards? Where are we going with it? So let's see. Now, are they raising humans for body parts and meat? Meat. That isn't the M-E-E-T, it's the M-E-A-T, munch. Are we going to be munching on someone who looks like us? So this is a reality. And how can they make the difference? Some of us do not have all the same IQ, or maybe, just maybe, fooling around a little too much. And is this a human source? Is this humans doing this, or are we raising the meat for some kind of alien predator that's going to take over everything, or it's already in the process of taking over, guiding us towards more insanity? Now, here we're doing a reading. Let's see. And I want you to relax and join me in this and see if they actually are not just putting a research paper into these wealthy, prestigious institutions, but they actually have labs doing it. Now, here we have the in the group, the marriage card, the in the group, in the groove. It sounds like it's already happening, doesn't it? It sounds like a good idea. That's onboarding. Now, are they raising, Liberation Day? And we have the King of Pentacles. Well, this is very much of an affirmation. In the group, and we have the money there is in it. The money, even to put a paper through Stanford and MIT. Not just anybody can walk in there and go like, hey, look at what I wrote. Look at this essay. Look at this paper. And these are well-known scientists. And then we have the Page of Wands. Hot idea. It's pretty hot. Check it out. We could save. We can get rid of all the cow farts and everything else and just have robots and eat ourselves. Imagine you could eat your old boyfriend, your old girlfriend. Possibly. I mean, we do have doppelgangers. We do look alike. Look at all this positivity. We have the Three of Pentacles. We have the Page of Wands, and we have the King of Pentacles, and we have the in the group, in the groove, in the groove. Well, it seems to me that and then just here we have the assessment card. Is Seven of Pentacles. They're just wondering how to spring it on you. First, they put it a little literature that most of us can't read or do not have access to read the paper. But the word is out there that they have bodyoids. So it seems that we do indeed. This is a not. This is a. I mean, everyone's heard about Soylent Green, right? In which you in a society that you automatically decide when you had enough, you put yourself over to the food grinder, more or less. Soylent Green is humans eating humans, cannibalism. But however, when it's a lab grown, you can say, oh, it does not have any soul. It doesn't have any soul. So how can it be relevant, even though it has 2 arms, 2 legs, 10 toes, 10 fingers, 2 eyes, a mouth, ears, etc.? It's not real. It doesn't have a soul because it was grown in a lab. And so that's a little, they're trying to figure that out because in vitro has been going on for decades. And that is also grown in a petri, human life in a petri dish. So, I don't know how to say this to you, but it seems as though growing in a lab, bodyoids are not only hyperbole, an idea, it's actually like going on. And just maybe some alien species from some planet has developed a taste for you and I. And this is probably like a way of pacifying them. Now, I personally have seen, I spent a year in human dissection myself out of med school. Okay. Now, I can tell you personally, there is no difference between chicken and, let's say, if you were going into a deli and you were looking for a chicken sandwich, let's say the chicken breast sandwich, and you were looking for a roast beef sandwich. There is personally no difference in the look, the texture. Now, I can't verify the taste, but it was enough of a physical thing to make me turn vegan. You know what a vegan means? I don't eat you if your blood is red. I don't consume you if your blood. I don't chew on you if your blood is red. And you have muscle tissue is not mine. I'm not into muscle tissue. All right, nuts and beans are fine for me, especially for what I've seen, the dissections that I have personally seen. I just don't want to go there when I go into a store and I order a sandwich and it looks like somebody I just, saw sliced up to gazillion pieces. Or some corpse, just had a sheet over it and whammo, there it is. I personally don't like the idea. Other people, it doesn't bother them. But however, spending a year in dissection, I could do things for people. And anyway, so it looks as though these bodyoids are not just something that's trickling down the gossip chain in a way of like he. No, this is something that actually they're just waiting and trying to figure out how to economically and safe zone it to you. The fact that they've been doing this. There's a lot of mysteries going on, don't you think? A lot of things that we do not know are actually happening, but are happening. And we know we're in for a wild ride. But it's very strange that we have all this drum beats. We have so many things going on. Boom, 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 boom. Which is it just a masquerade or a distraction for what's really happening? What is really happening to our societies? Devaluating our experiences, devaluating our roles in these experiences. And now we will take us one step lower down the food chain to go, oh, not caring, not feeling not communicating as we descend, evolve, de-evolve. What could be more de-evolving than growing your own kind? I'm saying it's not, doesn't have brain power. It doesn't have pain, a nervous system that's stunted. And just going, oh hum, oh hum. Now, if you could take a backlog of all the movies you've seen in your lifetime, just join Apple TV, and you can see the evolution and the brainwashing that goes on for different things, different people, different occupations, and of course, male and female interaction. There's your answer right there, right? There's your answer. So we'll just have to watch this situation, but it seems as though we are going someplace, and don't say you're powerless, because you're not. You have a big mouth. We all have big mouths. We all have 2 feet. We walk on this earth. Now, this earth is not for more than one person. It's for all of us. And it's up to us to have some standards and not to wait until some alien race or some lunatics say, this is the way it is. Knaves, slaves, peasants. No, we're not up for that. So anyway, if you'd like to donate to Mystic Moons, because we're going to continue to investigate this so-called barrier between sci-fi world far out and what's really going on. So if you care to donate to our monetized channel, please do. And if you would have any comments about this actual in progress, Spirit says disclosure, please give your comments. And until the next time, we'll keep an eye on what the strange things are happening in our strange, de-evolving planet, world, civilization. You and I, the world we live in. So, until the next time, Far Out Tarot is out. And speak to you, all of you, again. Bye-bye.